I just read this article about why companies like Apple are building AI agents with limits, and I think it makes a lot of sense and it's interesting. So
Okay.
I wanted to get your thoughts on this.
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so most AI usage today is very passive. When you go ask Gemini a question, it gives a response. You do whatever with that response. So where everything is kind of moving towards is the agent, kind of the automated robot go do this thing for me.
Yeah.
So what Apple's trying to do is pull in these agents into software and have them do as much as possible, but pause at the critical moments to require user input. So for example, it's like booking a flight. You just open Siri, say, I want to take a flight to Jamaica next week.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll go through the process of like finding the perfect flight, mapping out everything, and then go ahead and like add the tickets to your cart. But then right before it pays, it'll stop, have a pop-up confirmation where you actually have to approve it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is the human in the loop model, which a lot of these companies are looking at. And it's more of like, I think in, LinkedIn, maybe everything feels very much like just go faster, let agents do more for you, automate everything.
Yeah.
But companies like Apple are kind of taking a slower approach that's more addressing the consumer's fears, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I think it makes a lot of sense. I would trust an agent operating like this way more than I would just put my OpenClaw, give it my credit card and tell it to go book me a flight.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think if there's a lot of things that I wish Siri would do for me that she doesn't do yet. And so she just turned on because she heard her name. But there's a lot of things I wish it would do for me that it doesn't. Like right now I can set alarms, timers, reminders and stuff like that. And that's like stage one. But yeah, later, and sending texts. I can say, send Jackson a text about this. And it's not that smart right now, but it's going to get smarter. But it's going to be a lot better whenever, the AI in my iPhone is connected to each of the apps, and the apps can register actions that can be taken. And there's some kind of protocol to confirm action. So kind of like a shopping experience, reordering things, or just general things you do on your phone. It'd be really nice to have your phone. Right now, the research through Siri, I would love to have her do more searching and Googling and then say, okay, now email that over to this or put that on my Trello board or something like that. That would be super nice. And I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
Because there are some low stakes things that don't need as much confirmation. Like I'm putting it in a place like Trello for confirmation or in my notes.
Right.
And so there's other tools that already do that. But yeah, the commerce side of it is interesting because, Amazon, Google, they're adding more agentic shopping experiences. And ultimately the user just wants whatever they're using to just work and interact with all these things. So Siri is going to work that way to where you can have Siri do that. And essentially the Amazon shopping experience may end up being, you don't have to go to Amazon. You can stay within your iPhone and not leave it. And then they've built into the iOS, the confirmation. You already have Apple Pay set up, all of that stuff. I think the closer to the user that these decisions can be made, the better, or the closer to the user that all of this work is being done, the better, because it's a tool that's already part of their life. They don't have to open a separate app or something.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And at least when it comes to Apple, they're working directly with like the payment providers and the banks to kind of put in safeguards on their end. That's like, if this AI goes rogue, it doesn't wait for the user to confirm. How can we prevent it on your side once the request is already made?
Yeah,
Which
credit card fraud's already pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, talking to AI fraud call centers is one thing, but like at least they're catching stuff. I'd rather lean on the careful side.
AI fraud is going to be the new. My AI spent that. I didn't spend that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. People are definitely going to take advantage of that. And that's going to be an interesting one for sure.
Yeah. It seems cool, though, the new Siri that they're trying to move to actually have it be like an AI assistant rather than voice commands. But an example I saw was like you could have a text conversation with someone for the first time. So like they send their address and one message, then a few messages later, their name. And then you could just tell Siri, add that as a contact. And it'll go like, scrape through the whole conversation and build out the full contact card for that person.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Stuff like that won't need confirmation.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I expected this to be ready now with all of the deals that they've done with like OpenAI and stuff. That's been a little disappointing. It's been disappointing so far, just at the intelligence of Siri, the lack of intelligence from my point of view.
Yeah,
I was just expecting more because I saw what ChatGPT could do, and I've seen the MCP things and all of that, and it's been slow. And I guess it makes sense. Apple's being a little careful because they have tons of people. Like at least half of the U.S. is using iPhones, probably around half, probably less. I guess,
I think it's more. I think it's more than half. Yeah,
but a good chunk of people with different skill sets. Like a lot of people just don't want it to work the way it's always worked and don't want it to change, and so that's understandable. But it would be nice for the people who want it to be a little smarter to be able to opt into some of those. But also, Apple's really good at user experience, so whatever they do, it's people adapt to it, and figure it out. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like Apple has been criticized for being late to AI this entire, new AI cycle. But yeah, this is kind of showing that like maybe they're not late; they're just being intentional with what they choose to integrate and release, so that they don't have any major issues and have to like roll something back or cause their users to lose trust in their products. I feel like that's probably their biggest fear.
Yeah, Apple's always been a little late to things, I think, strategically. So just general iPhone features that Android users say have been there for 3 to 5 years. They are behind on things, but we're changing the way people are interacting with software, and the software that people interact with the most is their phone. And so it makes sense to be a little slower and a little more careful, because right now to use AI tools, you have to purposefully go seek them out. And so putting it in somebody's phone and changing how they interact with their tools it's going to have to be a slow rollout, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do see this thing here with the new Siri and iOS 27 with Apple Intelligence features major overhaul designed to be more conversational and context aware, capable of acting across apps. So like you said, save this contact, that will be really nice. I think more conversational is the biggest thing. Like Siri is okay right now. I think it's going to get better. And there's a little frustration, but we're getting there slowly, I think. Yeah.
You use Siri quite a bit, don't you?
I do. Yeah. I'm a big, no apps distractions. Like every search I make on the internet starts with the spotlight. Like I drag down and I make my search and then I hit the Safari icon. I don't have Safari on my homepage. Only thing on my homepage, or I think that's what it's called in iOS, is just widgets. so I can see calendar, to-dos, what else is on there. So yeah, I like a very, not minimal so much as I just like, time zones, calendars, to-dos, and stuff like that. And then I have a couple of the apps that I use the most here. But yeah, I'm very much I use the Siri features a lot, and I'm excited. If I could just drag down and start a chat, that would be amazing. And so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, or like the cross app, go grab that code from my email and enter it into this other app.
Yeah.
Stuff like that's going to be nice.
So our mortgage got sold for the third time, and we're on Rocket Mortgage now.
Okay.
Holds our mortgage. And so I had to rechange our auto pay and all that stuff. And it would have been so nice to just tell Siri to go do that.
Yeah, right.
Instead of having to do it myself, or maybe I'll get some other thoughts here if I look at the apps I'm using the most.
Yeah.
But Workday, submit a PTO request, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Google News, read the top 5 headlines in the technology tab. Google Meet, start a new call, or FaceTime, start a new call with somebody, which you can kind of do, but it'd be nice to say, I want you to use Google Meet. I have, American Airlines, Delta, KLM, all these airlines on here. It'd be nice to have more access. My thing is the companies aren't going to have to build as many UIs. They're just going to have to build tools that, the end consumer uses something that has a UI, and then all these companies, say an airline just has the data and the APIs.
Yeah.
It would be nice if just Siri had access to those tools, and then I could tell it to go book a flight or find me all the flights, and then it returns back data that can then be rendered within the iPhone.
Yeah.
Or read out to me.
Right. Yeah, it's going to simplify. I feel just the entire phone, honestly. You're not going to have to be swiping between different apps if you can just go through Siri. I think a lot of people worry about like sending that data to the cloud to hit these models, but I think Apple's, I don't know if it's confirmed or they're really trying hard to keep everything running locally on the phone itself, so it won't be sending any of your.
That reminds me of, did you hear about Google's new open source model, like Gemma 4, I think it was?
No.
So they have a new model that is apparently like just as good as like Anthropic and OpenAI models, but it can run on a smaller chip.
Nice.
And so they invented this whole new way to store the embeddings and all of that. It's more compressed. And so you can have, I don't know if you can store more parameters because there's like billions of parameters within a model. I don't know if you store more parameters on smaller hardware or if they actually got it more intelligent with less parameters. But there is significant improvements to that. And so I think, once Google does it, that knowledge is going to transfer over to these other businesses. And so, Apple's going to have, models running on the iPhone.
Yeah.
And that'll be nice. Very nice. I think, software is just going to be very much VRAM based instead of, RAM based.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I didn't know about that model. That might be what they're looking at because I believe I heard they were going to use Gemini.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apple partnered with Google to use Gemini. So I bet they use some kind of variety of like.
They're going to distribute the models onto the iPhones.
Yeah.
That's another tangent there. Did you hear about have we talked about the MacBook Neo?
I don't know if we talked about it, but I've seen it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So they're putting the latest iPhone chip into a laptop. And so now you've got, the MacBook Pro, you got the MacBook Air, and then you have the MacBook Neo, which is a lot more low profile, very streamlined. And that's kind of the opposite. Like, it's more for people who are only working on things that are in the internet. So you're doing Google Docs. You don't have to run as much software. You just have to run a browser.
Right. Yeah, it's almost like a Chromebook, but Apple's take on it.
Well, the Chromebook operating system is garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Krista had one for a while, and it was just such a pain. I understand where they were going with it, and maybe it's gotten better because that one's an old laptop. But Apple's, of anything else I've worked with like Chromebook and then Microsoft, like OneDrive, Apple's iCloud is probably the best experience. There's some things I don't like about it as much, but it's been the best experience for me, like the best compromise for sharing information on apps from my laptop to my phone and all of that.
Right.
It's been a lot better experience. So that will transfer over. I think in the Neo, it'll be more like iCloud based, which will get them more people paying for their terabytes of data in the cloud. So
yeah, for sure. I'm looking to replace my phone, and I was really considering going Android this time, going with like a Pixel. But Apple's like ecosystem, being able to move stuff between your watch to your laptop to your phone, like it's too good. So I decided I'm gonna stick with iPhone just to.
Yeah. Now the Android users will tell you could do that, but it's like, it's not as user-friendly, in my opinion. From them showing me how it all works, it's not as nice. And
you have to rebuild that. Like, I already have the Apple Watch and the MacBook, so those things, I think the watch becomes useless. You can't connect it at all to Android. Yeah, you'd have to buy the Samsung watch or something like that, which are less, which I use like a huge Garmin watch. But I've actually been I have another old Garmin watch that's much smaller that I've been using a little bit more. And I think the Apple Watch is a lot more ergonomic than the Samsung ones. Like, they're pretty big and it is like a lot smaller profile, but even it feels a little too big sometimes. I kind of want to get like a Whoop band or like one of the small Fitbits, something like that. Yeah, Fitbit has some decent options, but they also have the huge chunky ones as well. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, it's going to be cool to see the next version of Siri and see, how iPhone usage changes with that. Yeah, I'm super excited to see it. Cool. Thanks for listening to this episode. And if you are a small business owner looking to see where AI fits in your business, go to infactodigital.com, where we have an AI for small business webinar, where we're showing small business owners case studies and real stories of how people are using AI to improve operations, increase the work that's getting done without increasing headcount, and leading to more profit, more money in your pocket. And if you want this AI news in your inbox daily, you can also go to infactodigital.com, sign up for our Infacto Daily newsletter, and get this in an email form sent to you every day. All right, catch you in the next one. See ya.